it's not really about treating a problem, it's about working with a person, finding out how to improve their life, using tools of kinesiology, using the tools of Bowen, trying to look at the patterns in somebody's life that are not as efficient or as effective as they can be and change them, or encourage them to change them so that life is a better experience. And so you use kinesiology and you have the feedback through the body of something like Bowen to inform you as to what unique things need changing, what unique program they need. All of the muscles in the body are controlled absolutely by the brain. The nervous system is governing the movement of the muscles, but the nervous system is also relaying feedback to stress. And if a muscle is under stress, if it's over-contracting, if it's moving too fast, the brain can mediate that response by switching it off. If I say something negative, or you experience a chemical or a colour or a sound that are stressful, your musculature will change because the body will respond to the stress. And with kinesiology, we can use that response of the body being in a state of stress or it being in a state of balance to be able to assess things that are strengthening and constructive and things that are weakening and detrimental in your life. Bowen uses a soft tissue manipulation to reset muscles and tendons and fascia, connective tissue in the body, so that the body goes into a more equalised and balanced state. If the muscles are pulling equally and in a balanced way, you're more likely to be in a state of physical alignment. Whereas if you have structures that are too tight, structures that are too loose, some that are overworking, some that are underworking, then there will be a misalignment in the physical structure, and the body itself will then get into bad habits of behaviour, bad habits of movement, and the Bowen treats the body as a whole to try and bring it back into a state of alignment and balance. There are two kind of quite simple goals with the kinesiology work, and the first is to reduce the amount of stress that you're experiencing currently, while also improving your capacity to cope, so that you've got greater strength, greater resilience for stress, but actually there are less factors stressing you at that point. Scientifically, we're looking at muscle response, we're looking at nerve response, we're looking at changes in the fascia and the tissues. We're looking at the way that when you apply pressure or movement around particular tissues in the body, they will change their state. And with muscle testing, you can observe those changes quite easily. When you apply pressure into a muscle, it's going to do one of two things. The brain is either going to activate the muscle or it's not. So you get a very simple on-off, yes, no, good, bad response. The body will either show that it doesn't have any detrimental effect or that it has a detrimental effect. And you can just use that to assess what things are going to be useful, what things are not. We might use a homeopathic remedy. We might use a food or a sample of a chemical or an additive or a metal. We might use colour or light or sound. We might use magnets. We may use thoughts or phrases or words or concepts that are focused on. I think that the key to change is to be able to have a greater stability of balance in the face of stress. If we balance you today, then something may change tomorrow that would unbalance you. So part of what we're looking to do is create greater stability and balance for you, so that you remain in a more balanced state in the face of more things than had we not done the work, so that you can cope for longer, you can cope with more if you need to. But perhaps we've also identified things in your lifestyle that if you remove them will make you a lot less stressed, and therefore you'll also remain in balance much more easily. Watching change within people is a beautiful space to be in. You know, you're there to support, you're there to guide and encourage, but ultimately they're creating a transformation of themselves with the support that you give them. For me, that's one of the most fulfilling things in my life, because everybody follows a series of patterns that they've gained and developed from various parts of their lives. Some of those patterns are really working for them and are really supportive. Other patterns are less constructive, less supportive, And so part of my job is to try and look at those integral patterns and find the ones that will benefit from change. Through working with things like the kinesiology and the Bowen, you can uncover how to make changes into those patterns and then sit back and watch what happens when you do.